Week 3 of the Atlanta Falcons OTA practices are officially in the books. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations to talk about in this video, right? And we're just a week away from the start of mandatory minicamp. However, before we break down a couple of guys who are looking good and some big time updates from Raheem Morris, I need you guys to do me a little bit of a favor. And I want to give a big shout out to, all of the media members over there in Atlanta who work so hard and every single day putting out more highlights of OTA practices and kind of, enable us to make this video and talk about the news and notes from around Falcons OTAs, right? So do me a favor and go follow them on Twitter right now, man. I'm telling you, they work so hard and you will not regret it. You're gonna see all the names, all the ats at the top left of your screen. Make sure you guys go follow them. But with that being said, let's kind of dive into this video, but also comment down below a player that, or maybe two players that has surprised you so far. And I know that it's difficult because you're not at practice. You're not the one watching these 7-on-7s and these 11-on-11s. But in terms of what you've heard, who is someone that's kind of surprised you? Like, oh, I didn't think that person or that player would be as good as they're saying, right? So comment down below a player or two that has maybe surprised you or you think could have a big season this year. Let me know in the comments down below. But let's get into the video a little bit, man. We have some big news coming out from Raheem Morris talking about, Bijan Robinson will be back for mandatory minicamp, but also showed up to practice today and was a little bit getting active out there. So that was one of the biggest signs. Obviously, Bijan is one of the top picks last season. They're really looking forward to him building chemistry and rapport with not only the new quarterback in town, Kirk Cousins, but also the other new quarterback in town in Michael Penix, the first-round draft pick. I mean, as they continue to build chemistry, man, Bijan is going to be someone who I believe is going to be an X factor for this team. I know you have Drake London, and I know Kyle Pitts is slowly starting to show, how good he can be and how good the chemistry and rapport he has already with a guy like Kyle Pitts. But Bijan is just a difference maker out the backfield, gives you unpredictability in terms of being able to catch the football, but also being a very good playmaker as a running back in general. I really am excited to see what he can do this season. And now that we're starting to ramp it up in, week 3 of OTAs and then mandatory minicamp next week, this is where things start getting really, really fun. And then they get like a month off before training camp. And guys, don't worry, we'll be covering that as well. So I think the first big piece of news that we found out was that Bijan Robinson, came out, emerged from the tunnel with his helmet, his jersey, and shorts on. Raheem Morris did say at the presser that, he would be back for minicamp next week. But it turns out he's back today, which is huge, huge news. Definitely something we want to see. Actually, some more injury news as well. Rondale Moore back on the practice field as well for Atlanta. He did battle a few hamstring injuries a few weeks ago, but looks like he is back working in the slot with the second string receivers right now. Also in the mix for punt returner as well. Now, Rondale Moore is a guy, it's similar to Darnell Mooney, who has a ton of potential, but never could really, pick up that steam and get into rhythm over there in Arizona, and for Darnell Mooney for Chicago, right? But now are here in, again, looking to build chemistry. Two guys who can really stretch the floor, have speed and playmaking ability. Once they have the football in their hands, these guys are electric, right? So I do like what they've done, and the injury updates of Bijan and Rondale Moore are very, very good. Definitely satisfied with those guys coming back. Raheem Morris also said that Clark Phillips had a pick 6 in practice 2 weeks ago. And, ever since then, he has been locked in. Clark Phillips is a guy who started to break out a little bit last year, but is continuing to do that this season. Now, we have some more news and notes about people coming back and playing good. Before we get into that, I want you guys to do me a big favor. Hit that like button, but more importantly, subscribe if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Falcons throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, you might be asking, what does that really include, right? The rest of OTAs, we're going to keep you guys covered. Mandatory minicamp next week, training camp, preseason, and once regular season and preseason start, we're going to be breaking down film from the All-22 coaches film. We're going to be breaking down film each and every single week for the Atlanta Falcons. So again, make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you guys join the family and don't miss out going forward. Now again, more big time news for the secondary this time. We just heard a little bit about the former 4th-round pick and Clark Phillips continuing to break out here this season, but his running mate, right, outside boundary, AJ Terrell is looking to return to practice soon as well, and that is definitely a guy they want to see in here. He's a leader on and off the field, and a guy who just makes it look easy when he, is out there guarding some of the best receivers in the NFL. From there, you still have D'Alford, Jesse Bates, DeMarco Hellams, the former 7th-round pick, is ready to take a massive jump up. And when you talk about two guys who they drafted last year who are making insane progressions, Clark Phillips and DeMarco Hellams, man, a 4th and a 7th-round pick looking like day 1 starters in year 2. That is absolutely crazy. And then you have a 4th-round pick of this season, a 3rd-round pick of last season. They're out there battling it out on the D-end position with Zach Harrison and Brandon Dorless. Both those guys look really, really good as well. So you just talk about the overall strategy, but also their ability to draft some of these guys have been so good. Again, want to continue to see these guys develop and get better as time goes on, but that was one of the most encouraging things for this team is the way that they've been drafting. Now, Kirk Cousins in practice had a bunch of very good throws at Kyle Pitts, who is looking to get back to that promising path he had in his rookie season. Drake London also making some big-time appearances, catching some balls in the end zone. Nice post routes from Kirk Cousins as well. And then you saw Michael Penix take advantage of a couple of plays down the field. I really am so excited. I know a lot of people didn't love the Michael Penix pick, but you talk about a guy like Jordan Love developing behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes not starting right away. I think it might take a little bit for Michael Penix to be the full-time starter, just because Kirk Cousins still has a lot of time left on his deal, but I think Michael Penix is going to surprise you. I think he's going to be someone who spends 2-3 years on the bench, but once he comes in, you're going to see, wow, wait, this guy really has some big-time ability to throw this football, not only with his ability with the accuracy, the arm strength as well. I mean, everything just jumps off the tape when you look at Michael Penix, and I feel like so far in camp, everyone has enjoyed not only his presence around the locker room, but the way he throws the football, man, just looks really good. Obviously, Kurt's going to take all the first-team reps, but man, Penix, you can tell this dude wants to be coached. He wants to be better. And, he's taking advice from Kirk Cousins, which is something you love to see as well. So, definitely love what you're seeing from Michael Penix. Even Raheem Morris said it's been fun to watch him learn from Kirk. And, sometimes in the NFL, these quarterbacks like the Kirk Cousins and the guys who are getting up there in age, Russell Wilson's, right? These guys don't really want to help develop quarterbacks, right? Because they're like, at the end of the day, this guy, my backup is here to take my job. If I get hurt and he steals my job, I'm done, right? So a lot of these guys don't want to help. But Kirk Cousins being an absolute just team player, a veteran, and just very mature. So big shout out to, Kirk Cousins. Love seeing Bijan Robinson at practice today. That was one of the good things we saw today. So, hey, overall, very excited about where this Falcons team is headed. Got some big injury updates. Not only with Bijan, but AJ Terrell will be back in the next couple of days here. And even Rondale Moore back from the hamstring injury. So we're going to keep you guys updated with everything that happens over the next couple of days. Make sure you guys join the family, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you